This is the Peninsular Paper Company. I'm Darren, and this is the Industrial Revolution. Built in 1867, the Peninsular Paper Company, located on the Huron River, in the outskirts of Ypsilanti, Michigan, right next to Eastern Michigan University, produced newsprint for the Chicago Tribune up until the 1970s. And then it shut down. In the mid-80s, the mill site was sold to the city of Ypsilanti, Michigan, and it was converted into a park. And it remains a park today. But it's about to experience some major changes, which is why I'm out here today in the mud and flooding to document what we have today. But before we go on to what's coming up in the future, let's talk about what we have here and what we might be about to lose. So I've now moved over to the north side of the river. The main paper mill was always on the south side of the river, and unfortunately there's really nothing left of that at this point. On this side there was a smaller paper mill built. Well, let's talk about the dam first. The dam was built in 1867, as I mentioned. It was built to provide mechanical power to the paper mill on the other side of the river. When they wanted to add some electricity, they built the smaller mill on this side, as well as the building you see here, which housed the turbines and the generators. On May 14th of 1918, the original dam broke, and downtown Ypsilanti is just downriver from here. The release of the water from the reservoir uphill from here created a massive amount of damage as it swept downriver. But they did rebuild. They rebuilt it in 1920. And today, it's still standing, but only barely. So the dam was originally built in 1867 to provide mechanical and later electrical power to the mill. The main mill was on the other side of the river, on the south side, but there's nothing left of that now. It's just an apartment complex. On this side of the river, we had a smaller mill that was added later, including the building here, which included the ability to generate electrical power. This building had the hydroelectric equipment, the turbines, and the generators. Well, the mill on this side burned down in 1898, and instead of trying to rebuild it, they moved the surviving equipment over to the other side of the river and just kept the hydroelectric operation running on this side. It was still a productive mill, still kept providing newsprint to Chicago. The mill closed down in the 70s, and in 2004 they demolished everything on the other side of the river, leaving just the dam and this one building remaining. So the city has closed off most of the building. It's not really safe at all inside anymore. The first floor is blocked up with cement block, in fact, all the way around. So we can't really get inside, but we can still take a look. Let's see what we can see here. You can see it's a two-story building. You have the story here, which is in the white cement part, and that has a small area down here and a huge upper area above it. This is where the turbines would have been, as well as the generators would have been up above it. So as you dip over the wall here, you can see there's really not much in there anymore, which is unfortunate. There obviously used to be more. So we just got a few random pipes left. Let's continue our exploration. So as you look above the generator space, you'll notice something interesting here on the wall. We have three metal cables on insulators. And this is where your electrical power came out of the building. So they're tied off right now to the side, but originally this would have been your power feed out of the building from the generators inside. Let's see what else we can find. So you can see all the windows are broken out, unfortunately. A lot of graffiti. And the first floor, as I mentioned, is completely blocked off with cement block. You can tell this was not just built as the cheapest building they could find. You've got some nice architectural elements up above the upper windows, for example, and up on the top here. So we can see inside. Let's go ahead and sneak inside the window here, and we'll see what we can see inside. Looking down, you can see the access to the basement where the turbines would have been. And as we pan up here, there's not much up above, although there are a couple of rods hanging from the ceiling up here as well. Let's check out the other room. Okay, so here we are going into the larger of the two rooms. This is where the generators were. See, the roof is in rough shape. Floor isn't in much better shape. You can see why this has been closed off. But if you look up at the ceiling here, you can see we do have still a couple of cranes hanging out there. So the bridge crane here was used to lift and drop heavy equipment. And as you see, that's still up there. The beam it's riding on rode across a pair of beams that could access any part of the floor. Well, we know that dams don't last forever, and this one's over 100 years old. And it's not doing well, I'm afraid. It's considered to be a high hazard dam, which means that its failure would result in severe property damage and possible loss of life. Further, the dam is considered by the state to be in structurally poor condition, and it has to go. So the city of Ypsilanti, in consultation with the Huron River Watershed Council, are working on a plan to demolish the dam and restore the ecosystem here. That'll create additional wildlife habitat and improve fish habitat. It'll also create new recreational opportunities. Instead of a dam here that's difficult to portage around, instead you'd be able to bring canoes and kayaks through here. And the Huron River, if you don't live in this area, is a major canoeing, kayaking river. The removal is scheduled to take place currently either 2025 or 2026 if it doesn't get rescheduled again. That's already a rescheduled date. Originally they were planning to demolish the building. However, due to public outcry over the historic site here, it's been agreed that the building will be saved and only the dam will be taken out. With the dam removed, we'll lose part of the historic nature of the park. We'll lose a significant part of the historic mill feature here, but we will retain the building as a way to remember what was here. We'll massively improve the ecosystems and the space for the park because of removing the reservoir upriver will actually also increase by about 30%, which will hopefully bring more people into the park, and they'll be able to see this historic structure as well. I don't know if this is a good thing. I hate to lose any historic feature. On the other hand, I also know that dams are really expensive to maintain, and when dams break, it's really, really bad. And I know that ecologically speaking, getting rid of dams is usually a good thing. So my feelings are mixed. We'll have to watch and see how this works out. Other dams that have been removed, things have worked out great. So the roaring water behind me, the historic building, well, the building's supposed to be saved. This roaring water you hear in the background, though, that's going to go away soon. It'll be replaced by something quite a bit different. Other dams that I've seen removed, you wind up with some minor rapids through here. And surprisingly, within a very short period of time, you can actually have a really beautiful natural ecosystem thriving again if you take down dams like this. But my feelings are still mixed. You know, we'll hopefully restore an ecosystem. We'll hopefully have a much healthier ecosystem. You'll be able to come through here with kayaks, canoes, whatever you like, and it should be great. But at the same time, we're losing a part of history, and I'm kind of sad about that. But we're keeping a part as well, and really I suppose that's part of the nature of the industry. So just remember, as we look at this today, as we come back in a few years and look at it again to see what it's become, this is the Industrial Revolution.